2. Killed. Lock on and get 5 rockets coming to me. Fire. We'll get him. I just shot the MAV and I killed 2 teammates.
Hello, and welcome to the Battlefield 4 Laser Designation Guide. A decade after when this guide should have been available, this will be available for aspiring recon players that wish to further utilize their tools. Laser Designation is a mechanic that allows compatible rocket launchers to fire on friendly marks. It's this funny mark that people pretend doesn't exist. But first, let us go into the types of gear that is available to a recon to produce a laser designation. PLD is a form of equipment that everyone starts with. You look at a dude in order to acquire a lock, and now everyone can see the mark. The PLD is the only gadget in the recon's arsenal that doesn't produce a red glint as you laze targets. The PLD is a 500-meter range, making it so that it's recommended to go on higher ground and laze from at least 200 meters distance to make it as hard as possible to spot. The SOFLAM is mechanically the same as the PLD, but it's autonomous, so it runs by itself, making it great if you want to fire on your own targets using a tow launcher. SOFLAM emits a very obvious red glint, though, so don't put it out in the open. The SUAV is an aerial drone, making it not only very difficult to counter, but also great at chasing aircraft, since you can keep up with their pace and location. The SUAV is locked by default, so you're going to have to complete the assignment listed on the screen. You can also MAV a SUAV, but I wouldn't recommend it. The SUAV has a 1-minute long cooldown that starts as soon as you throw the SUAV. So if you deplete the entire bar, it'll roughly only take 15 seconds before you get a new one. The SUAV is also functionally a MAV, with how much spotting radius as well as its low spotting cooldown. Because it's inbuilt with the tugs just like the MAV, it can also spot nearby equipment and soldiers on the move. And if you're cool enough, the SUAV can even dodge missiles, actives being the hardest. All you have to do is pull up to the side incredibly hard. Note that the SUAV uses your jet controls, so I recommend finding a stable key to bind pitch up. Do note that the reason these vehicles are finding me so easily is that, like the SOFLAM, the SUAV emits a red glare, but it doesn't really matter considering that it's a tiny plane and extremely hard to hit. It also requires a decent amount of time to search for, as it can fly from above. This is just a tidbit in case any of you are confused if you ever saw this, but unless you have the SOFLAM or PLD equipped, you're actually not going to see the dedicated red diamond like you see here. This isn't recon specific, but Gunner's SOFLAM also lasers targets, but it requires you to unlock it according to the vehicle. Before we get into the meat and bones of the rocket launchers, let us discuss some key concepts about laser designation. The first is that all rocket launchers have fire and forget on lased targets, even if it tells you that you need to hold it, like a Javelin. The second is that line of sight is not required on a laser designated target. If you see them, you can acquire that lock. See this clip performed. The most important one for any of the rules is that all attacks are top-down because of the path that these rockets take. It means that obstructions like in this clip don't matter. Do note that in this clip, the reason you cannot see this mark is because it is an unoccupied vehicle. This is also applicable to manned equipment such as mortars, but they are still valid targets.
How is he still on it? Is he retarded? Yes, he is.
Yep.
Okay.
It is also important to note that rocket launchers that are capable of being combined with laser designation cannot fire on aircraft unless you mark them. You can also laze equipment.
Fired.
Nope, he's standing right on it. He said he tried moving way too late, buddy. Next, let us go over the types of rocket launchers that can be used in coordination with laser designation. There is the FGM-148 Javelin, the FGM-172 SRAW, and the MBT LAW. The Javelin has a 45 damage threshold, exceeding that of all the other rocket launchers. It also causes mobility crits on vehicles. It has the longest range of 500 meters. Rocket launchers also have different lock times. Just compare the Javelin to the SRAW in a side-by-side clip. The SRAW and the Javelin have the same statistics when it comes to laser designation, the only difference being their base mechanics outside of that. But of course, we didn't forget about vehicles. With the exception of the jet's 800 meters, the guided shells of the tanks, and the various vehicles with the tow equipable, have 650 meters of range. If you're wondering in this clip why I'm able to lock onto a tow despite describing it as a laser-capable guide ammunition, this is because you need to have a laser-capable rocket launcher in order to see these markers visibly. This is a bug. The previous statement about not being able to see marks on tows without a laser-capable rocket launcher also applies to the manned equipment like the stationary tows. Jet mains are going to loathe me for mentioning this, but their chaff doesn't work about 15% of the time, so fire anyway, you'll probably smack them.
Oh, yes!
Fired. Probably gonna chaff, yep. It hit the building. No, it hit the building, dude. What? Okay.
There's this niche mechanic called snapping that utilizes how the rockets gain a decent amount of clearance in front of your rocket launcher in order to go around corners. This works particularly well on buildings that are too tall, but you can clear the corner, or if you're pressed up against a wall and you don't have the time to utilize gaining distance. Damage is a primary concern in any first-person shooter. Therefore, it is important that we get the facts down on our rocket launchers. Let's first look at the Javelin. With its incredible ability to mobility kill any vehicle. The MBT LAW and the SRAW are functionally the same, the only difference being their base mechanics. They are really considered supplemental rocket launchers compared to the Javelin when you were dedicating yourself to lasing. Remember Commander Mode. You know that button you guys keep ignoring whenever you join the server. It has this nifty item called the supply crate. Not only does it passively regenerate health and ammo for simply standing near it, as well as allow you to change kits on the field, but it has this nifty function for us, Javelin enjoyers. Allow me to demonstrate. Remember what I said about the supply crate? Well, not only can you use it to change your kit, but it also completely ignores reload times. Because the resupply crate replenishes the ammo in your clip, it tends to work weirdly. For example, it won't replenish the tows on this LAV shown, but it would work perfectly fine for the tows equipable on a RCB or a TAC boat. Guided shells on vehicles work the best, so you can do tomfoolery like this.